Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. Today marks, I suppose, a special episode. There's nothing huge happening in this episode, but we do have some announcements for the near future. Next week, we will be going to 2 episodes per week. This change is being brought on by the fact that we're going to be expanding a bit on our international sports segment. And this is just to give us more time, more freedom to talk more numbers, talk more stats, talk more opinions, just give more for you guys. And I guess the third announcement is how Miggy and I are going to be approaching the NBA and NHL playoffs this coming year. So both playoffs are going to be happening right at the same time.
The exact same time. They're both starting on April 18th.
April 18th. So there are going to be playoff games every day for both leagues.
And it's just too much to wait for a week to give the stats because you can have almost a series sweep in that time. So we just figured giving you 2 or 3 episodes a week just mainly on these series and how they go, just so that everything is relevant and keeps up to pace.
Yeah, so we're going to be bringing you guys about 3 episodes a week, 3 for the NHL, 3 for the NBA of these special playoff episodes, just covering all the series going on, because every 2 days, roughly, every single series will have played a game. So that's how we're going to approach the playoffs. That, I think, just about does it for the announcements. I'm not getting any weird looks from my 2 boys next to me here. So, without further ado, let's get into some numbers for you folks. NBA. NBA is getting interesting. So some scores from this past week that I want to go over. It's past Tuesday. I was really interested in the Toronto-Detroit game because I thought, oh boy, Toronto needs to win this, needs to start winning some games, really get here into the postseason, and Detroit is, a good test. And, Miggy and I, you and I watched the last 8 minutes of that game, something like that.
Yeah.
Toronto, they fought, but they were just too far behind. Detroit wins 127.
Did they really fight?
I mean, they didn't get outscored in the last 8 minutes. They technically brought it closer.
Fair, I'll give it to you.
Detroit wins 127, 116. Detroit led this game by as many as 23 points. And Detroit mainly won this off of a 41-27 third quarter, outscoring the Raptors by, 14 points in 12 minutes. Jalen Duren, 31 points, 9 rebounds. Dennis Jenkins, he's been a bright spot for the Detroit Pistons in Cunningham's absence. He had 21 points. Jalen Duren, his 31 points. He was 12 for 13 from the field and 7 of 7 from the free throw line. My man missed one shot. Scotty Barnes for the Raptors, off night in terms of scoring, only had 5 points. He did have 12 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Very much a Draymond Green kind of stat line, but you expect more points from him. RJ Barrett, however, did have 24 points. Karl Murray-Boyles had 14 points, 10 rebounds in the losing effort. Also this past Tuesday, Phoenix versus Orlando. This game was important because both teams are right at the edge of the play-ins right now. Both are essentially fighting for that 6th spot in their respective conferences, so they can avoid anything lower than that. Orlando wins this 115-111. So close game from 2 sort of middle-of-the-pack teams. This game was tied going into the fourth quarter. It was 94-94. So Orlando wins this on their fourth quarter performance by beating them by 4 points. Paulo Banchero, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists in the win. Wendell Carter Jr., 15 points, 12 rebounds. And Desmond Bane, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Jalen Suggs, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Orlando got carried by their 4 main guys. That's what you expect, but the bench did not help. Devin Booker did, however, have 34 points and 7 assists in the losing effort. Our top performers for Tuesday from elsewhere in the league, Luka Doncic had 42 points, 12 assists in a Lakers win over the Cavaliers. Past Wednesday, Atlanta versus Orlando. Again, 2 middle-of-the-pack teams. However, this time, both in the Eastern Conference. These 2 teams are within a couple of games. Atlanta wins 130-101. So Orlando, after beating Phoenix the previous day, did not show up. Atlanta led by as many as 31 points this game. And the biggest standout was their second quarter, where they scored 47 points to Orlando's 26. The Hawks won by 29 points. 21 of those points was in the second quarter alone. tough, tough outing for Orlando. However, good news for Orlando. Franz Wagner, their arguably second best player, he returned from injury after having missed 47 of the last 52 games.
Oh boy.
He has been out for most of the season, but he's back. Hopefully for the playoffs as well. You're never really sure with these injury returns, especially these long-term ones. So, yeah. But he played his first game in months. Atlanta, they are hot. They've won 17 of the last 19 games. And I think I saw a stat somewhere that since the All-Star break, they are 19-3. So
that is scorching.
They are really trying to avoid that play-in. Dyson Daniels for Atlanta had 15 points, 13 rebounds. Jalen Johnson, 18 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. 2 assists shy of a triple-double. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 32 points. Franz Wagner, in his return, had 12 points. So, I mean, you can't expect too much from him. Not yet. However, Orlando's top scorer was Jamal Cain with 17 points. In a league where your top scorers per game need to be sitting at 25, and you get a game where your top scorer is 17, you're going to lose majority of those games.
Yeah.
Top performers from elsewhere this past Wednesday from other games, quite a few. Gonna list them off here. Wembanyama had 41 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a win over Golden State. Paul George, 39 points, 6 assists, 3 steals in a win over the Washington Wizards. Jamal Murray, 37 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and a win over Utah. And then the pair of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Tatum had 25 points, 11 assists, 18 rebounds, 2 steals. Jaylen Brown had 43 points and 7 rebounds in the Celtics win over Miami. Celtics are looking scary, especially with Vucevic coming back here at the end of the regular season. It's past Thursday, Phoenix versus Charlotte. Again, Phoenix, middle of the pack Western Conference team fighting for play-in positioning and to try and avoid it. Charlotte, same thing, except in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte wins 127-107. Jalen Green for Phoenix had 25 points, 7 assists, 2 steals. Devin Booker, 22 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. On Charlotte's side, Mikal Bridges had 25 points. LaMelo Ball, wrong ball, brother, had 15 points, 11 assists. Now, the story of this game. The rookie, Con Kneppel, 20 points, 4 3-pointers made. With these 4 3-pointers made, he breaks Charlotte's single-season 3-point record with about 6 games left to go in the season at the time of that game.
As a rookie.
So he already shattered the 3-point record for rookies a few weeks ago. Now he's set the franchise record for the Charlotte Hornets. And I'll talk a bit more about it later. He is also the current 3-point leader of this season. So all as a rookie. Moving on, Lakers versus Thunder. This was supposed to be a battle of the Titans out west. This was supposed to be a first seed versus third seed. This was supposed to be a good game. I don't think 139-96 is a good game. So OKC gets the win. They led by as many as 46.
That's a 38-point difference.
Mm-hmm. Well, even more than that. That's a 45-point difference. No? We are all bad at math. It's 43.
Did you say 134 or
139
oh, yeah,
to 96.
Then.
Yeah,
43. We're all just bad at math here. Don't mind us.
No, we're just bad at listening.
Yeah. So, Thunder trounce the Lakers. And to add insult to quite literal injury, Luka Doncic left with the left hamstring strain during this game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. As I go through more and more of these scores, it's not looking great for the Lakers. I'll give you guys a bit of foreshadowing. SGA, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Jalen Williams, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. Austin Reeves, a name that you will hear shortly, again, Foreshadowing. He had 15 points in this game. Top performers from Thursday from elsewhere in the league: Kawhi Leonard, 24 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a loss to the Spurs. Drew Holiday, 27 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal in a win over the Pelicans. So not a lot of high-scoring performances on Thursday. Friday, however, big game to watch on Friday was Philadelphia against Minnesota. Both teams, again, all the important games right now in the NBA is all these teams fighting for play-in position. Philadelphia wins this 115 to 103. Paul George, who has been strong in his return from suspension, he had 23 points, 4 steals. Tyrese Maxey, 21 points, 8 assists. Joel Embiid, 19 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks. That's what Philadelphia wants to see from the big three. Julius Randle for Minnesota, 21 points, 7 rebounds. And Bones Highland, 21 points. Minnesota is still without Anthony Edwards. He's still on his way back, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of Minnesota's season shapes up. I see Miggy is about to shed a single tear onto our table here. Top performers from Friday. The potential Rookie of the Year winner, Cooper Flagg. 51 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in a loss to Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
This is the highest scoring game by a teenager in NBA history. He is also the first teenager, so he's 19 still, which is crazy to think. He's the only teenager to have 50-plus points in an NBA game. Jason Tatum, 23 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, and a win over Milwaukee. OG Anunoby, 31 points, 8 rebounds, and a win over Chicago. Knimpel and Flagg, I'm going to talk more about later because, as I said a few episodes ago, this rookie class is something. It's past Saturday. Game of the week is what I would call it. Denver versus San Antonio. Nuggets versus Spurs. The Nuggets win 136 to 134 in overtime.
Holy.
Now, this was the battle of the Western Conference Titans that I was expecting from the OKC Lakers game from earlier. This game had it all. San Antonio entered this game on an 11-game winning streak. Aaron Gordon tied the game for Denver with 6.2 seconds left to send it to overtime. Jokic had a massive game, 40 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists, 3 blocks. Jamal Murray chipped in with 15 points, 10 assists. Cam Johnson had 17 points, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Wembanyama, 34 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, and 5 blocks. Stephon Castle, 20 points and 9 assists. This could potentially be game of the year in terms of the NBA regular season.
That is an insane game.
Just an absolute stunner of a game. Top performers from outside of this crazy game on Saturday. Kyle Ware for the Miami Heat had 24 points and 19 rebounds. So nearly a 20-20 double-double, which is pretty impressive in its own. He had 7 blocks to go with it. This man was pushing a triple-double with blocks. Miami won their game over Washington. Goodness. Past Sunday, another game that I was really hoping for the Raptors, was another, playing the top of their own conference. This is an important game to win, and nope, they lost to Boston, 115 to 101. This game was close entering the fourth quarter. It was 80-77 for Boston, but they did, however, as shown by the final score, they did pull away in that fourth quarter. Jason Tatum, 23 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Jaylen Brown, 26 points. Toronto had a rough one. Their top scorer was Jacoby Walter with 16 points. Scotty Barnes had 10 points, 8 assists, and 3 steals. So I'm not sure what's going on with my Raptors. They are inconsistent. They're not getting the scoring that they need from their top guys, and they're losing games that they should be at least competing in.
Do you think they're maybe just worn out?
They shouldn't be. I know that they've been struggling a little bit of injury every here and there, but I mean, Scotty Barnes has been playing fine all year. Brandon Ingram's been playing fine all year. RJ Barrett, when he's not injured, has been playing fine. But you're not seeing the consistency from these guys here to end the year. Charlotte versus Minnesota. Bit of a blow to you here, Miggy. Charlotte wins 122 to 108. Again, another game. Two teams, opposite conferences, both fighting for play-in and non-play-in positioning. Miles Bridges, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. LaMelo Ball, 35 points and 8 assists. Julius Randle had 26 points and 8 rebounds for the Wolves. Rudy Gobert put up 12 points, 10 assists. Nope, 10 rebounds. Why do I have that written there? Ah, my goodness, folks, I wrote my notes incorrectly. Would you look at that? Top performers from elsewhere in the league. Cooper Flag, again, 45 points this time, so not quite as impressive as his 51. But, I mean...
Had to drop the gas.
I mean, come on, like 6 points. Like, come on, bud. 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a win over the Lakers. Ryan Rupert, who, not a name that I know. Mind you, I don't know his name because he plays for Memphis, and Memphis hasn't been in the playoff picture at all this year. So I apologize to the guy. I didn't recognize his game, but he had 33 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 4 steals, and a win over Milwaukee.
Chris, do better.
Look. I can look at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, I should have expected this. Memphis versus Milwaukee is kind of a nothing game. Both teams are eliminated, but still an impressive stat line. Kevin Durant, 31 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, in a win over Golden State. LeBron, 30 points, 15 assists, 9 rebounds in a loss to Dallas, so the same game that saw Flag's 45. And James Harden, 28 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals, and a win over the Indiana Pacers. I'm just going to circle back to Durant's 31-point game against Golden State. This game also marks the return of Steph Curry. He made his return from injury this past week.
We're happy to see him back on the field.
I think he was out for 2 months, something like that.
I think so. That sounds right.
In his return, he had 29 points. So a solid return. This game would have been a great homecoming for Steph Curry, too. It was in Golden State. It was at home. They were leading the game 116 to 115 with 11 seconds left. And then Alperen Sengun just had to ruin it and win the game for the Rockets. But glad to see Steph Curry back. Now, finally, yesterday. Not a lot of important games. There was, however, a game that is technically an upset. Detroit versus Orlando. Orlando wins 123 to 107. Now, mind you, as of yesterday, actually, as of I think this past weekend, Detroit has clinched the first seed in the East. They could lose the rest of their games this regular season, and they would have the first seed. So, Detroit is currently in injured/resting mode. They didn't have Cunningham. They're resting a couple other key guys, although Jalen Duren did still play. Paulo Banchero for Orlando at 31 points and 3 steals. Desmond Bane, 25 points and 3 blocks. Jalen Suggs, 12 points, 12 assists. This game is still important for Orlando, though. So, I'm not exactly excited to see that Detroit's kind of resting some of their guys, especially since this game has implications with the Raptors, since as I'll talk a bit more on later, Orlando and Toronto and some other teams are all neck and neck for positioning. So Jalen Duren, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Dennis Jenkins, 18 points, 7 assists. And our top performers from elsewhere in the league from yesterday, Jokic, 35 points, 13 assists, 14 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks, and a win over Portland. That is a lot of numbers. That is a lot of stats. But we've come to expect that from a very special player and a potential MVP candidate. Stefan Castle, 19 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in a win over Philadelphia, the Spurs. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks had 30 points, 13 assists, 2 steals in a win over Atlanta. San Antonio, in the Castles game that I just mentioned, the 19 points over Philadelphia, that marks San Antonio's 60th win of the season. They are the second team to hit that mark this year, only behind the OKC Thunder, but a big milestone for them and their hunt to overthrow OKC for that top spot in the West. That's all I have for NBA scores from this past week. I will give it off to the gentleman sitting right next to me. He's got your NHL numbers for you guys.
I do. NHL had a busy week. A lot of games meant a lot of things. I actually missed a game or two that was worth a lot in the standings, but like I said, there's so many that eventually I'm gonna have to miss one or two here.
Something's gonna fly under the radar. Always does.
So last Tuesday, while we were recording our podcast, 4 games were on. Montreal beat Tampa Bay 4-1. Montreal showed up and demonstrated that they can hang with the big boys. They've shown that they are now part of the big boys.
Big boys club of the NHL. Or of the Atlantic, rather.
Yeah. Islanders and Buffalo met and clashed. Buffalo came out winning 4-3. Dallas versus Boston is an upset because Dallas lost 6-3. Boston, again, with the roster they have, are overperforming, and they just keep overperforming.
I mean, Boston's been performing and winning against top teams in the last couple weeks,
with
haven't they?
Not a lot of superstar. They have Pasternak, Swayman, and McAvoy. That's it.
I hate the Bruins, especially as a Canucks fan from years ago, but you got to give props to those guys.
And Carolina beat Columbus 5-2. Now Wednesday, Anaheim, San Jose, very important game. Anaheim is still fighting for that wild card spot. They are 2 points behind as of we are recording this episode. Anaheim did lose 4-3 against San Jose, so as one again, San Jose gets the 2 points, and that helps them out. Thursday, Nashville versus LA. Nashville wins 5-4 in shootouts. Again, those two are neck and neck right now. They have 1 point dividing them from the wildcard 2 and not wildcard spot. They both have 77 games, and they both have a lot of overtime games. Columbus versus Carolina. Carolina won 5-1, which continues their underappreciated season. There's a lot of media around Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Montreal, Avalanche, Dallas, Minnesota, but Hurricane, for being the powerhouse they are, kind of just everybody a lot just lets them float underneath all that. They are a solid team, and they've been showing it all year.
Well, I mean, if you're Carolina, you just take that as a chip on your shoulder.
Philly. 2 weeks ago, Philly was basically being told that they weren't going to make the playoffs due to where they place. They are 7-3 in their last 10. They won 4-1 against Islanders on Friday. There's just so much talent on that team. They keep winning against these top teams. Now they just took third in the Metro, knocking Columbus and Islander, who have been fighting for that third place for weeks. And now they just show up and steal it from their fingers.
I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. You see 2 teams, 2 people going at it, you sneak in and you grab the jewels.
Now going to Saturday, a couple of games. Boston versus Tampa Bay, a big rival, in the Atlantic.
I mean, Tampa should win that, right?
Tampa won 3-1.
Okay.
They did. Carolina versus Islander. Again, Islander loses another one. Islander right now have lost 7 of their last 10, which is not good for a playoff. Puts them just outside of the playoff picture, 3 points behind Ottawa, who has been sneaking in their way and actually snuck their way into that second wildcard spot. Vegas played Edmonton. Vegas won 5-1. Again, that weak Pacific division, but they still need to get the wins to get into the playoffs.
It's still guaranteed spots that you got to play for.
Sunday, Carolina versus Ottawa. Again, Ottawa needs the points to get in the wild card and stay in the wild card. They did win 6-3 against Carolina. And then Boston versus Philly. Again, Philly pulls this out of their back pocket and wins it into overtime. So when playoffs start, I would say to watch out for that Flyers team. Monday, Tampa Bay versus Buffalo. The Titans of the Atlantic Division play against each other, and Buffalo takes it 4-2. Now, as we're recording this, the Atlantic right now is in a 3-way tie for first between Tampa Bay, Buffalo, and Montreal at 102 points.
All same games played, right? All 78?
Buffalo plays tomorrow, so yeah, all 78. All have 4 games remaining.
You don't get much tighter than that.
No. Now there's it's been a high-scoring week. There has been 3 times more games that have a team scoring 5+ goals than wins.
So what you're telling me is that there's been so much scoring this week. It's not just that the winning team is getting 5+. You're telling me both teams in games are scoring 5+.
I looked at it earlier. There's 4 games that finished 6-2, 4 games that finished 6-3, 2 games that finished 7-2. Here are my blowouts for this week's blowout galore.
Oh, yeah.
New Jersey wins 7-3 against Washington. Pittsburgh wins 9-4 against Florida.
9?
Against the old Stanley Cup champs.
Yeah.
You remember New Jersey beating Washington 7-3?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. New York Rangers beat Washington 8-1.
Man, I watched that game. I was out at a restaurant for my sister's birthday enjoying supper, and I watched that game happen.
Here's my WTF game of the week. Vancouver versus Avalanche.
The most unlikely victory
Here's
in years.
Here's what's unlikely about it. We watched the third period because you couldn't believe it.
Oh,
I think we were playing games, and then I was like, Vancouver's up 6-3.
No, we were out of the house. We came home to you telling me, oh yeah, the Canucks are up against the Avs, and I rushed in to try and put it on the TV.
Yeah, it was 6-3. Now, the Avs found a way to tie this up 6-6. But seconds later, Vancouver win. Not Vancouver win. They score to make it 7-6. Now the game continues. Avs pull their goalie. Vancouver scores the empty net. You literally have David taking down Goliath in this game.
1 versus 32. I love my Canucks. Like I'm a big Canucks fan, born in Vancouver and all that pizzazz. That should never happen.
Nope.
There is no reason that a healthy Colorado Avalanche team in 26 should be losing to the Canucks.
No Makar.
Oh yeah. I
Makar's
forgot
been
about
out
that
for
one.
a week and a half.
I forgot about that.
Now here's some facts about teams, players' achievements, just the last week. Now, with the upcoming week, there is only 4 games left for every team to play, give or take. Some have like 4, some have 3. But for teams that playoffs are clinched or playoffs that are in the mix right now, most of them have 4 to 5 games left. There's too many games for me to pick and choose. So next week's podcast, hopefully we'll have a better playoff picture. Hopefully maybe we'll even have the full playoff picture, because this week I was finally able in the Atlantic to get more than one X.
One more. What? That's elimination, right?
Now,
Or no, that's
clinch.
guaranteed. That's a guarantee, right? It's E for elimination.
Yeah, E has 4.
Yeah.
So any fan that is voting for a team right now, fighting for a playoff spot,
I don't envy your stress, honestly.
me neither, because I got that X beside my team. But watch your games. Maybe watch the games of the teams that your team may potentially face in the playoffs. And just chill. Like, I know it's right before the playoffs and it's when everything gets excited, but at the end of the day, we're here to enjoy hockey.
See, I agree with you. I really do. But here's the issue with that statement coming from you, is that your team is clinched, and my team was eliminated months ago before they ever got the E. So we have the we are in the position of not needing to stress. I think for those fans out there that, you know, your team's not clinched or just outside, you know what? Keep that passion going.
Yeah. Kucherov nets his 400th goal. Shifley scores his 900th point. LA posts a record-breaking 31st OT game against Nashville on Monday, April 6th. Now, Patrick Roy got fired as the head coach of the Islanders, which made no sense at the time, but now that they're out of the playoff picture, maybe it makes a little bit more sense, and they've been losing quite a bit. So maybe bring in a new coach right before playoffs to try to get back in the playoffs. They did hire Peter DeBoer, which is the Stars' old head coach.
I don't get shaking things up 4 games left in the regular season. I mean, even if they make it to the playoffs, you're starting with a new coach at the start of the playoffs. Anyway, regardless, we can talk more about that later.
And the Devils fire their GM, which that was to see. They were a powerhouse last year. Finish bottom of their division. It's a good thing they have Rangers in their division. Like,
saving grace.
13th in the Eastern. Last year they were top 5. So general manager gets fired. But depending on who they hire to be the new GM, Sheldon Keefe, their head coach, his future remains on whoever they hired as GM, whether the GM likes him or not. So you might get a new GM, and he just gives you the curb and someone else.
I mean, your new boss is getting hired. You have no idea what's going to happen to you.
Now, injuries for teams that are clinched right now in the playoffs and that affect their team on a spectrum. Tampa Bay. Both Cirelli and Hagel are both injured. Both undisclosed. They both bring scoring, playmaking. Montreal, Alex Terrier, he has an upper body injury. He brings the playmaking and the physicality to Montreal's defense. Edmonton, Hyman and Draisaitl. Do I really have to state why those are 2 big losses? Dallas, again, Hintz. He brings the scoring. He has a lower body injury. Bunting has a lower body injury. They just acquired him actually from Nashville. He brings physicality into the Dallas Stars. Colorado. Makar is out. Upper body injury. I did not have any updates on his status. So Avalanche might start this playoff, depending on how severe his injury is, without Makar. So right now, whoever is slated to get Avalanche, which is the number 2 wildcard spot, if Makar is not there for like a game or two, I would be taking full advantage of that. But that's future, so we'll not get too into it. PWHL. One team left to clinch. Montreal is clinched. Boston's clinched. Minnesota's clinched. Fighting for 4th. Toronto, Ottawa, and New York. Now, for those who may have not listened to the episode where I was explaining the playoff formats for all the different leagues that we cover, it's the top 4 teams, and then whoever gets the number 1 spot actually picks between 3rd and 4th who they're going to go against.
And then the 2nd seed gets the leftovers.
Yep. So, with that, as I said, Ottawa is fighting for it. They lost both games last week. They lost 2-1 against the Scepters, which is the other team who's fighting for that spot, and 3-0 against Montreal.
I mean, that's to be expected. Montreal's at the top of the league, but losing 2-1 to a team that you are directly competing against is tough.
Now, we got some records.
Oh boy.
Record-breaking 18,006 fans in attendance at that Sirens and Scepters game on Saturday at Madison Square Garden. The total for last week, so from Sunday to Saturday, was 73,103 fans attended to games, which is the highest for a PWHL week. So I am glad that things are shaping up. Filler scores 4 goals in 2 games and 8 shots. She scored 2 goals in 14 seconds. Kelly Panek from Minnesota, 4-point game versus Golden Eye, ties PWHL single game record. And with that game at Montreal versus Seattle, PWHL hits its 100th game. Now, a little bit more on the sadder, but still on the happy side with how she's reacting to it. Head coach of Ottawa Charge, Karl McLeod, is stepping away for an undetermined amount of time. She is stepping away because she got diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, due to that fact, her day 1 assistant coach, Haley Irwin, will be named interim head coach. Now, with that being said, she is taking time away, yes, but she is very confident that her girls will take the number 4 spot. And this kind of gives Ottawa the extra push to get a playoff to be like, look, we got this for you.
Win it for her.
Yeah. So a little bit of a down news, but a little bit of more of a happy ending with how Ottawa might receive it as. There's also the talk of the expansion. It next year should have an expansion. They just have to decide between 2 or 4 teams. There are some destinations that apparently are being observed. It is Chicago, Denver, Quebec, Calgary, Detroit, and Washington. So that could be interesting. I'm kind of hoping for that 4-team expansion for next year.
Well, because the PWHL's at what? How many teams right now?
8.
8? Well, yeah, 4 would be much nicer to get you that 12 number, because 10's a little awkward to work with.
So 12, now you got 2 divisions. You got 6 on both sides. And then they want to bring it up to 16, I think, another couple of years. And now you can really get, 16, top 8 goes into the playoffs. Or even with the 12, top 6 go into the playoff. The first 2 have a bye. All that kind of stuff.
And I mean, the thing is that one of the things that everybody's always concerned about with expansions is talent just being too spread out. But I think we've been shown that there's plenty of talent in women's hockey.
Oh yeah.
So I would not be concerned at an expansion bringing a decrease in performance.
Talking about expansions, I was looking it up, and they've been talking about it for a while. So in 2030, they want to bring the NHL to 36 teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's also rumors that they might just bump it to 40 right away. Now,
It's a lot of teams.
Take it with a grain of salt. The expansion is coming.
Oh, yeah.
And when it does, we will confirm with you guys what it is.
I mean, the NBA has confirmed expansion, I think, by 28. They're expanding 2 teams, and most likely it's Vegas, and then they're bringing back the Seattle Supersonics, I think is the plan. It's really hard to get any confirmation on that expansion because they've been talking about it for probably about the last 8 years. Yeah. But expansion is coming to some of these major leagues.
Now, I did forget to talk about who clinched and who got eliminated for the NHL, so let's just circle right back to that. Colorado and Dallas, we already knew. Minnesota joins the group. The Central is locked. Those are the 3 that are going for sure. Utah would be the only one left fighting for wildcard 1 against the rest of the pack. In the Western Conference, Chicago and Vancouver still remain the only 2 eliminated. Now, we finally get some X's other than Hurricanes on the Eastern front. Tampa Bay, Buffalo, and Montreal are all clinched with 102 points in 78 games. Pittsburgh is, in my eyes, getting close. There's 4 games left. Like I say, every game's a must-win or at least a point. Now, compared to the Western side, the Eastern side has 4 teams eliminated, being the New York Rangers, surprise, surprise, Florida, Toronto, and the New Jersey Devil. Other than that, the rest is all up for grabs. So we got 4 spots up for grabs in the East and 5 spots up for grabs in the West.
And NBA injuries and the NBA settings, we're going to talk a little bit more later because I want to give us some time to really get into it. But MLB is on the way. Blue Jays are not quite on the way.
We went from 4-1 to
4-6.
Yeah.
The Jays started the season with a 3-game sweep over the A's. And we said, oh, this is great. You know, it's an easy first 9 games of the year. We can go, 7-2, something like that. No. The Jays lose the series to the Rockies, 1-2, and then get swept by the White Sox.
Yep.
So after their first 9 games, they were 4-5. And now you listeners might be wondering, oh, but you guys just said they were 4-6. Well, yes, they lost their game to the Dodgers yesterday, the first of a 3-game series. Miggy, do you want to tell them the score, or do I need to?
14-2.
Not the World Series matchup, or I guess rematch that we were.
I'm gonna go help Jay pick his jaw off the floor.
Okay, yeah. Now, mind you, there are reasons to why the Blue Jays are struggling so much. They're not excuses, but injuries. Alejandro Kirk suffered a fractured and dislocated thumb on his catching hand. He's going to go in for surgery. He'll be out at least 6 weeks.
Jose Barrios, right elbow stress fracture.
Addison Barger, he's on the aisle right now for an ankle injury. Cody Ponce suffered an ACL sprain in game, what was it? Game 4 of the year. In his first start. He is going to be out at least 6 months.
Shane Bieber, still with an undisclosed time, is still out with a right elbow inflammation. That is half of our bullpen.
I mean,
our starters.
Savage
is still
out. And then you're looking elsewhere. We have Santander. He's out. You know, this team is not healthy.
But we still need to produce. So something needs to happen.
Speaking of producing, Kevin Gossman and Dylan Cease both have had 2 starts so far this year. Kevin Gossman, I think he's leading the league with 21 strikeouts.
He's averaging 10.5 strikeouts a game.
His ERA is 0.75.
Yep.
Cease, in 2 games, 18 strikeouts. They are both top 4 in the league. Now, unfortunately, that is about as far as our performers and our producers have gone. George Springer batting 150. Dalton Varsho batting 188. 2 guys who were supposed to be confident in and are supposed to be reliable bats.
Barger's batting at 0.071.
Yeah, he's below 10%. Now, the topic, the player that no Blue Jays fan is ever excited to talk about right now.
How about we just keep that one for later?
We want to keep that one for later?
Let's keep that one for later. I want to talk about some injuries around the MLB as well. So for the pitchers, like we said, Bieber and Burrows both out.
Max Scherzer left his second game this past week with forearm tendonitis. So another
on top of that, Cade Horton, he's undergoing season-ending elbow surgery, so he will be out for the rest of the season. Jared Conan sprained left UCL, hoping to avoid surgery, so we'll have to keep posted on that. Justin Steele on 60-day IR with left elbow UCL revision. Cade Povich, shoulder inflammation, 15-day IL. Sandoval from the Angels, 15-day IL, recovery from a UCL surgery. A.G. Puck from Arizona, 60 days with elbow injury. And Zach Eflin from Baltimore transferred to 60-day IL with elbow discomfort. And that's just the pitchers. Now we go with the hitters. Hand, knees, or other. Juan Soto is out 2 to 3 weeks with a right calf strain. So the Mets are already struggling with Bichette's performance, and now they don't have their top guy. Jackson Chourio from Milwaukee has a fractured left hand. Tristan Casas from Boston, left patellar tendon is being repaired. Laror, 60-day IL, fractured right wrist. Gurriel Jr. Has a knee surgery recovery. Aston Hayes has a hamstring strain. He actually got that while playing with the Blue Jays. Arias is also on the IL for that same left hamstring. Now, for long-term players that will be missing the season, Felix Bautista, which is a closer. He underwent shoulder surgery in 2025. He might come back for this season. And Shelby Miller from Chicago, again, UCL surgery. It has been confirmed that he's out for 2026.
Injuries, and more injuries.
Yep. Not fun.
Well, a league that doesn't or shouldn't really have much injury news right now, but more, I guess, sort of trade and transaction news. The NFL's got a little bit going on right now, I think.
So defensive tackle from the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, requested a trade He has 2 years left on his contract, averaging about a 19.75 million cap space a year.
Oh, yeah, no. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money.
He says that he will not be attending the workout program for the Giants offseason. So basically, making it very known that he is cutting ties with the Giants and wants that trade and will not be playing. So we'll see how it is. A little fun fact: Kyler Murray changed his number from 9 to 7 after signing with the Vikings.
Yeah.
People are making jokes. It's because 7, 8, 9. Here are 3 trade rumors that I kind of saw and I kind of found fun. There's a rumor between the Chiefs and the Vikings that the Kansas would receive Jonathan Greenard, which is a pass rusher and multiple assets. In return, Minnesota would receive the number 9 overall pick and a former first round Felix Anidike Ozama. Greenard is a pass rusher, and last year the pass rushing for Kansas was good, but their coach made a good say that a pass rushing can be good, but being good and dominant makes a difference in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Now the next rumor is the Jets versus the Jaguars. The Jets would receive Brian Thomas Jr., and Jags would receive a first, a fifth, and a future second round pick. Now this one, me and you kind of stumped because we know that Brian Thomas Jr. had a high drop percentage.
Oh, yeah.
Now we didn't know that it was the worst last year. So it's a steep price to ask to give a first, a fifth, and a future second round. But at the same time, the Jets know that it's a steep.
That's a lot of assets to give for somebody who could literally and figuratively drop the ball.
Now this one, both me and you say that it makes sense. Now whether or not it will happen is different. There is an aggressive rumor between the Cowboys and Titans. So Dallas will receive the number 4 pick, and Titans will receive the number 12, the number 20, and the 2027 second round pick. Now, Dallas wants to move up to the number 4 pick in this draft due to the fact that this draft is defense heavy. Not only defense heavy, it's pass rusher heavy, which was a struggle last year for Dallas. They need another pass rusher to help in their defensive game. Sonny Styles is a linebacker, but he's not your typical linebacker. He used to be a safety, so you can call him kind of like a linebacker with zone knowledge.
He's a hybrid.
Yeah, he's a hybrid, basically. So it would have to see if any of these trades see any light.
Yeah.
Now, 3 free agents that I still is shocked that are, well, not shocked, but not some I'm shocked, some I'm not surprised.
Free agency names that
Yeah.
shouldn't be in free agency for one reason or another.
Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry, he's had
retired.
his good days. He's getting older. He should just enjoy the rest of his life, retire, and let the new generation.
You had your career. It was a good one. Just
Stephon Diggs can still help a team that's trying to contend for a Super Bowl here. He's only at the ripe age of 32. He's still
young.
He's like middle age for on the higher side actually for football, but he still has the hands. He still has his route running. He's still active. He's still sharp.
I mean, what were you and I saying the other day? If a team can get him on sort of like a vets minimum type contract, just low risk.
There's word, there's chatter, potential return to Vikings. And then Deebo Samuel, he went 72 for 99 for 725 yards last year with 5 touchdowns, and it was not the only weapon. He did do some running game too. He had 75 rushing yards and 1 rushing TD. Now, there's 3 potential fits I see signing him. Chargers, Packers, and 49ers. This is a wide receiver that can help a team greatly. I do also think, now looking at my notes real quick, he could fit with the Bills. Now it's to see if it goes at the middle. So other than that, that is all I have for the NFL.
All right. Well, before we get to our hometown sports, March Madness has ended.
Indeed, it has.
On the men's side, the Michigan Wolverines beat the Yukon Huskies 69-63 in the national championship game.
Tight game.
Tight game. Michigan, I think they won by double figures for all their games leading up to this. So them only winning by 6, tight game, good game. Looking back on my bracket predictions, I did not do well. Not for the men's side. I was ranked in the 40th percentile. I don't know where I went wrong. I just made the wrong choice.
The first round is where you win.
I think the first round is where I went wrong, and everything else just fell apart. Moving on to the women's side, the UCLA Bruins beat the South Carolina Gamecocks 79-51. Not close.
That's a blowout.
Not close. But you know what was close? My bracket being near the top. My bracket ranked in the 97th percentile of all the brackets submitted on the NCAA March Madness website. It's the first time I'm actually making brackets, so honestly, it takes me back to my high school days of getting 97s in math class. So, I'll take it.
Nerd.
Hey! Takes one to know one, Jay sitting across the table from me. Hometown sports, hometown heroes. The Saskatchewan Rush. They are currently in a 3-way tie for first place in the NLL.
Man, what is it with my teams and being ties?
They are tied with both Vancouver and Colorado at 11-5. You want to guess who the Saskatchewan Rush play this week?
Let me guess, Colorado.
They play the Colorado Mammoth this coming Saturday. Quite literally a first place versus first place matchup. Now in the NLL, 6 of the 8 playoff spots have already been clinched. Rush have 2 games remaining, so they have this week's game against Colorado, and then next week they play the Toronto Rock on the 18th. I think Toronto is also one of the clinched playoff teams. So the Saskatchewan Rush have a few important weeks to look ahead to. Now, the pride of Saskatchewan right now. The Saskatoon Blades in the WHL beat the Edmonton Oil Kings in the first round of the WHL playoffs.
That was a stressful Game 7.
They win in Game 7, 3-2 in overtime. Now, Miggy and I had the pleasure of watching this game, or watching the broadcast rather, and it was a good game. It was a tight game, and you will realize just how tight it was with some of the numbers I'll spew out for you guys here. So the game-winning goal was by Rowan Culbert.
Yep, nice little tip in there.
Yep. First star, Rowan Culbert, obviously, had a goal, an assist. He's +1. Second star was Gavin Hodnell. He had a goal. He was +1. He plays for Edmonton. Our third star for Saskatoon was Cooper Williams. He also had a goal, assist, and was +1. Now the goalies for this game.
They put on a clinic.
They both stood on their heads. I don't think a game gets any closer than overtime, 1 goal difference, and exact same amount of shots on goal.
I didn't even see that they had the same exact shot.
Evan Gardner for San Antonio, for Saskatoon, stopped 30 of 32 shots. Parker Snell for Edmonton stopped 29 of 32 shots.
Busy.
This series was so fun. There were, I think in total, 4 of the 7 games went to overtime. There was 1 game that was decided by 2 goals or more.
Yep.
So, proud of our Blades.
It was a very tightly contested season.
Props to the Edmonton Oil Kings. The Saskatoon Blades go on to face the Raiders in the next round. I think you have the game scheduled there, Miggy.
Yeah. So we're at PA which for people who don't know, PA is Prince Albert. On the 10th and 11th,
You're looking at me like I don't know that. I live here.
I had to double check in my head.
Okay.
So we're at PA the 10th and the 11th. We're back at home for the 14th and 15th. Then PA the 17th, home the 19th, PA the 21st. The playoffs also, I kind of have the matchups as well. Everett versus Kelowna. Pennington versus Prince George. Medicine Hat versus Calgary. And Prince Albert versus Saskatoon.
It'll be interesting. The Raiders were top of the Eastern Conference this year for WHL.
Yeah. And they beat our butts 4-0 the last 2 games.
Well, the first round of the WHL was littered with a lot of sweeps and gentlemen sweeps. The Blazers Kings was one of the only series that actually went sort of far. So hopefully the boys aren't too tired going into this next series. Got a couple days off here, and hopefully they come out swinging. Nah, that's a baseball term. I can't use that. Come out skating sharp. We'll say that. Saskatoon Mambas. Their season starts May 14th. They have a total of 24 games, with their final regular season game being played on August the 3rd. I think that just about does it for our analytical section. We will send you guys to break, and when we come back from break, we're going to try something a little new. We'll have Jay start us off with the international sports when we come back. Until then, folks.
All right. Now, don't be scared, folks. I may be early.
It's not after dark just yet.
It's not after dark. Now, we'll start off with cricket, as it's fresh in my mind since today's match. After a week and a half of IPL, the standings looking like Rajasthan Royals in first place with 6 points, 3 matches played, 3 wins. Second place is Punjab Super Kings. No, Kings 11 Punjab. There we go. That's the name. Is at 5 points with 2 wins and a draw. The draw being the match got abandoned due to rain.
Oh, unfortunate. A little bit of rain scared them away.
Third place, RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore, defending champions. Are 2 matches played, 2 wins, and 4 points. Now, coming up in a few days, they will be playing the first place Rajasthan Royals to fight for the first place on the scoreboard. Those are the only standings that I'm going to give you, as anything below that is just up for contentions and tied between 4 teams.
Fair enough.
Top 4 and everybody else.
Now, last week, after the episode, we had a few matches. First match being, now, bear with me here. I'm not going to say full names of these teams. They are like fucking sentences. I'll just say the state that which these teams represent, and we'll go from there. Lucknow and Delhi had a match. Delhi beats Lucknow by 6 wickets and 17 balls left, with a target chase of 142, them scoring 145. Hyderabad versus Kolkata. Kolkata has yet to appear in this league. They've played 3 games, lost all 3 horribly.
You can't start much lower than rock bottom, I suppose.
Same with Chennai. Kings of the past just cannot live up to the legacy of their captain being retired. They had a match against Punjab and they lost quite a close match to be honest, but still.
Loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss.
There's no overtime losses in a cricket league.
Exactly.
Hey, don't make that face at me, Miggy.
Delhi had another match with Mumbai. One pretty close match, 164 to 162. Rajasthan versus Gujarat. Now, this one kind of stings a bit, as I'm from Gujarat, but my favorite team is Rajasthan.
Oh, internal conflict here. Oh boy.
And that match was really close, to be honest. A target of 211 that Rajasthan Royals set, and Gujarat Titans chased it almost and ran out of deliveries at 204.
Those are some pretty high scores though for 20 overs.
Yeah. Now Hyderabad versus Lucknow, pretty close match. Lucknow won with 1 ball left.
Wins a win.
They don't ask how; they ask how many.
Exactly.
Bangalore versus Chennai, another blowout. 250 to 207.
Oh, I mean, 200 scores though.
Uh-huh.
Still, what is that? 43 runs.
Yeah, 43 runs. Kolkata versus Punjab. As I said earlier, the match got cancelled. Now, we come to today's match. Rajasthan versus Mumbai. Now, this is a household conflict. Rajasthan is my favorite team. Mumbai is my dad's favorite team. Now,
see, Miggy, you don't have to worry about that because your dad's favorite NHL team is the same as yours.
Same man.
Now, I'm just happy that this was a freaking blowout. Rajasthan Royals. Now, the match did get cut in half due to rain.
Of course.
It was limited to 11 overs per team.
Yeah.
As the rain had happened before the match started, so it didn't get abandoned.
Okay.
It just got delayed.
Okay.
Now, Rajasthan Royals set a target of 151 in 11 overs.
Yup. Mm-hmm. That's almost what? It's about a 180, no, 280, 20 over average.
Yeah. Now, the stats for this, the scorecard, right? The Royals is like highest scorer was still not out at the end of the innings at 77 runs in 32 deliveries.
Okay.
He was still not out. Now, if this was a full game, I'm pretty sure the scorecard will look somewhere in the 300.
Yeah.
Because he was set. Like, they could not... He was hitting balls that was outside of the pitch.
I mean, what, 32? So that's
an average of 240.
Yeah, that's 5.2 overs, and he's hitting 74.
77
even. Oh, yeah. No, that's...
He was a set batsman.
Yeah. No, that's easily 300 territory.
Now, our prodigal son, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. 14 balls played, 39 runs scored. Of those 39 runs, he scored 34 in 6 balls.
Almost a perfect number.
Almost perfect.
Almost 6s for 6 balls.
Now, the Indians' batting lineup did not do anything. Now, keep in mind, Mumbai's batting lineup, these are some superstars. Rickleton and Rohit Sharma, Indian one-day captain, opening, and both of them out under 10 runs.
Yikes.
Suryakumar Yadav, also like a really heavy hitter that has been a heavy hitter for like this team and Indian national team in the past, just out under 10 runs. Tilak Verma, the last hope of the top order of batsmen, out at 14.
So under 10, under 10, under 10, under 50.
Yeah. Hardik Pandya, captain of Mumbai team, out under 10. Just not living up to the standards.
Not at all.
Like, middle order just collapsed. Now, that's it for cricket. As international, only the tier 2 leagues are being played at the moment, so I am not following them as closely as I would like to, as I don't have the time for it. Next week. Moving on to league. Korea had their opening weekend. The first day being Hanwha Life versus OK Brion. A blowout of 2-0 in favor of Hanwha Life as expected.
Uh-huh.
The second match, the Telecom War.
But would it be fair to say that about the only match that went fully as expected was the Hanwha Bro match?
During the weekend? Yeah.
Okay.
As KT rolled T1 2-0. Now, it didn't help that this happened on April Fool's Day, as these matches happen around like 4 to 7 a.m. to me.
Yeah.
So I fell asleep during these matches. So I woke up on April 1st, looked at the scores, and went, oh, okay, that has to be a funny one.
They're pulling a funny on me, right?
It was
right. Left.
not. April 2nd, on Thursday, Nongshim versus DK. You would expect DK to sweep. Nongshim 2-0. DRX versus DNS. Now, I say these names. Sorry, DNF, I meant to say. I say these names as they have just rebranded both teams.
Didn't like half the league rebrand this year?
Essentially, DRX changed to KRX as they got a new sponsor with a company that starts with a K.
No, that's wrong. They're DRX. I will hear nothing of it.
DNF was last year, which got a lot of jokes made as it was in poor taste of did not finish. They rebranded to DNS.
So it did not start?
Did not start. The did not start though. Did start this weekend by 2-0ing DRX.
Another sweep.
So it sounds like all the underdogs are just performing.
Oh, here's the underdog of the underdog right here. Upcoming.
Underdog is an understatement.
The
KT.
puppies.
There we go.
KT, who 2 days prior to this, 2-0 T1, beat Gen G. The best team in the world.
Remember how I was saying that Colorado Avalanche should never lose to the Vancouver Canucks? Same thing, except it happened twice.
KT beat Gen G 2-1. I guess G2 did actually break them. Because that game 3 did not look close. Brion beating BFX 2-0.
The Bros.
The bro tax has been claimed. Now,
I mean, Furious also hasn't looked the same since
the G2 incident.
Yeah.
Since the G2.
The incident.
Since Europe beat both of those teams 3-0 each. Moving on to China. LPL. TES versus IG. IG take the series 2-0. AL versus Weibo. This one was expected. AL taking the series 2-0.
Yep.
WE versus NIP. NIP 2-0. This was a bit of a surprise as NIP's roster is looking a bit of who are they?
So the nobodies won.
Yeah.
Okay.
The me's.
Yeah, there you go.
That is all I have for actually. You know what? Let's go back to Korea as I missed a few matches. T1 versus HLE.
I mean, that's supposed to be a decent matchup, right?
Domestic Doran showed up.
Oh boy.
2-0 for T1.
Yeah.
DK versus KRX. Now this was also an expected outcome. DK 2-0. Gen G versus BFX. Expected outcome. Gen G 2-0. Now, we move to Europe. All I have to say is, le fuck. Vitality versus Navi. Vitality win 2-0. This was the fight of the bottom tier teams. An absolute fist fight. G2 versus Heretics. 2-0 for G2. SK versus Shifters. 2-0 for SK. Now, this was a surprising one. G2 lost to Fnatic the next day. Now, what are you showing him? Let me see.
Vancouver's currently 1-1 against Vegas. Vegas has 22 shots. Vancouver has 5
5.
shots.
Okay. Now, G2 losing to Fnatic. A surprise.
A little bit. A little bit.
GX beating SK 2-0. A bit of a surprise. Now, here's the biggest surprise of the weekend for me for League. Vitality beating Movistar Koi 2-1. 7th place team, 2nd place team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't Koi like one of the better performing LEC teams?
Top 3, at least.
Yeah.
Disguised versus Sentinels.
Oh, we're on to the LCS now?
We're on to the LCS now, as I ran out of the European games. In the LCS, Lion versus C9. C9 beat Lion 2-1.
Yeah, that's to be expected.
That is to be expected. Disguised versus Sentinel. Disguised won 2-1. That is not to be expected. So the opening weekends are a lot of upsets.
Yeah. A lot of it's weird. It's like 50% upsets, 50% expected results.
Uh-huh.
So maybe the leagues are more competitive, or maybe
it's just everyone's experimenting start of the league. They don't really
Yeah.
care about their standings at the moment.
And we'll have to see in the coming weeks.
But the games are looking fairly close. A lot of them aren't blowouts, but the ones that are,
it's either good or it's very, very, very bad.
I'm looking at that game 3 of KT versus Genji. Brother Ruler, I know you've been saying you're an old man, but your APM should not drop below 200.
He walked into the arena with a cane.
But that is it for the stats.
Was there any F1 this week?
Nope.
No, there
F1 is on a break for the entire month.
There's some break. All right. Well, that does it for the international segment.
International statistics, at least.
Statistics.
Crash outs are yet to come.
Yeah, crash out, yeah. So, as announced earlier, next week, bit more of international statistics for you guys. But that concludes all of our statistics and sort of like real number heavy stuff. Now we get to yell. And now we get to complain. Although, I will start this. I'm not going to complain about anything, but the NBA has had some pretty nice stories this past week. As I said earlier, Cooper Flag, 51 points, youngest player in NBA history to score 50. First younger than 20-year-old to score 50. You really got that note dialed in, don't you?
Wait.
Con Knipple, again, sets franchise record for three-pointers made. At the time that he set the record, he was at 261. Currently, he is at 265. He leads the league in three-pointers made. Mind you, Steph Curry has been injured and out, so kind of opens up all that stuff. But
so it's a fake stat.
Not a fake stat. It's just kind of...
you don't have the best three-pointer in the game.
There's an asterisk. Okay, there's a side note. There's subtext to this. Doesn't take away from the fact that we are seeing a very tightly contested Rookie of the Year race.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to see how this last week plays out.
Yeah.
Because if Cooper Flag's showing 51 and then 45, and not just points, but like all the other stats too, he probably just wins Rookie of the Year. Just outright, even though the Dallas Mavericks are kind of terrible this year. Con Knipple, though, however, playing great, three-point sharpshooter. His team's going to be in the postseason. The Charlotte Hornets will be at least in the playoffs.
And as much as
play-ins.
As much as me and you don't agree with it, bringing your team to a playoff or play-in spot plays a big factor in the race.
It means something.
Yeah.
Right? No, right. When you and I had that discussion, if you are overperforming on a team that is awful and out of the playoffs, I think it matters more that like how your team performs. It was more the thing of like SGA and Jokic, high performing players on high performing teams.
Yeah.
Right? When it's that close, then you should like not look so much at the team. But you're right. Right? Now, along with Knimpel's 3-point record, I want to also mention LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets. So they're teammates.
Yeah.
They are first and second in 3-pointers made this season for the league. LaMelo Ball is at 255. So when Knimpel broke the franchise record, it was at 260. So in another timeline where Knimpel isn't on the Hornets or isn't shooting this well, LaMelo Ball sets that record. He's only 6 away from setting that record himself. So this Charlotte Hornets team, they're young, they're fun, they're fast. They've been playing really good since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And the fact that their single-season franchise record for threes will likely be technically broken twice this year is so fun.
Yeah, that's
It's
not
so
stats that
good.
you see often. Too.
No. And to add on to the craziness of this, when Knimpel set this record, it was the Charlotte Hornets against the Phoenix Suns this past week. Now, I think it was from this past Wednesday. In that same game, a player from the Phoenix Suns set the Phoenix Suns franchise record for single-season 3-pointers made. Colin Gillespie. He set their franchise record with 227. So in one game, you have both teams setting franchise records for individual player single-season 3-pointers made. The same game.
It's going to be an important game for history.
Yeah, it's so interesting because these teams are way more similar than you think. They're young, they're fast, they shoot a lot of threes, and they're both also in like the same positions in both in either conference of fighting for playing. This past week, another fun stat: Celtics. They scored 53 points in the first quarter against Miami, in the first quarter in a game against Miami Heat. This marks their largest or highest scoring first quarter in franchise history, and is the second highest scoring first quarter in league history. Only behind 55 points that Golden State put up back in 2017, I think it was, back in the dynasty that was the Golden State Warriors. Couple of injuries. Curry, he came back. I was right. He was out for 27 games, about 2 months. Cade Cunningham will be out at least another week. He's going to be reevaluated this Thursday. Lakers. I foreshadowed the Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves injuries. These are not good. Luka Doncic is out the rest of the regular season with a grade 2 left hamstring strain. Austin Reeves out the rest of the regular season with a grade 2 oblique muscle injury. The Lakers are going to need number 1 scoring option LeBron James if they want to look any bit decent here to end the year. They already clinched a playoff spot. Austin Reeves should make it back to the playoffs. Luka Doncic is
iffy,
questionable. He's actually gone, I think, on record to basically saying he is searching out specialized treatment from the NBA health staff to get him at least playoff ready so he can play. What that would do for his long-term career, up in the air if he even gets that kind of help or minor surgery, but the Lakers are toughing it out. A team that's really hot going into this week is the Nuggets. They're on a 9-game win streak right now. The top of the West is also really hot. The Nuggets, the Thunder, and the Spurs are all 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Oh, that's a rough.
So Kind of like how the Atlantic in the NHL is, 3 teams tied,
Yeah.
102, 102, 102. Top of the West is 3 teams that are smoldering right now. Going into this next week for the NBA, the Detroit Pistons have clinched the first seed. That is the only spot that has been clinched.
The rest is all up for debate.
Yeah, everything else is open to move. There are a lot of NBA games this coming week. There are 10 games tonight. There are 7 games tomorrow night, 6 games this Thursday, 15 games on Friday. So all 30 teams in action. Saturday, they have a break. 15 games on Sunday, 30 teams in action again. Monday, they're off, and then they get into the play-in games, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday next week.
Yeah, I think you are right on that.
Now, funny little thing that happened today, right before we started recording. So one of the big games, not big games, one of the important games to us tonight was Miami-Toronto game. Now, at halftime, Toronto was up 13 points. Right, Miggy?
Yep.
13 points. So, of course, doing the simple math, you'd think, okay, well, if a team's up 13 points at half, they'll end the game up by how many, Miggy?
Word for word, what I said was, hey, if they're up by 13 at half, they should win this game by 26. And Chris went, yeah, but that never happens.
Toronto went on to win 121 to 95, which is a 26-point victory for our Houdini over here, who just decided, hey, simple maths is definitely the way to call game scores. I'm still ticked off that it was that accurate.
Hey, that's just payback for fitting our furniture for free.
That's fair. That's fair for you. For those of you listening, us boys, we moved in as roommates not too long ago, and Miggy had a good old time being really ticked off with me and Jay by how perfectly we got our furniture into the place. So, maybe it is payback. Maybe it is payback.
I'll do it again this week.
So, like I said, this week is very busy for the NBA. There are a lot of games. So I'm just going to name off, rapid fire games to watch. So tonight was Miami-Toronto, Houston-Phoenix. Tomorrow night, Atlanta-Cleveland, Minnesota-Orlando. Thursday, Miami-Toronto again, Boston-New York, Philadelphia-Houston. Friday, Cleveland-Atlanta, Toronto-New York, Minnesota-Houston, LA Clippers, Portland. No game Saturday. Sunday, Atlanta-Miami, Phoenix-OKC, Golden State, Los Angeles Clippers. There's a lot going on this week. There's a lot of games that mean something and everything. The Western Conference standings right now are looking very weird. OKC and San Antonio are going to be your first and second seed in the West, no matter what. It is literally those 2 teams fighting for that spot. After that, it's up in the air.
Yeah, you were showing me earlier. It's just 87 different possibilities of what's what.
The Lakers could finish the year anywhere between 3rd and 5th. Denver anywhere between 3rd and 5th. Houston could end anywhere between 3rd and 6th. Minnesota could end anywhere between 5th and 7th. Phoenix could end anywhere between 6th and 9th.
So it's up for grabs. Everybody's given a playoff or a postseason spot. Yeah. It's just to see who gets to play in and who gets to play off.
In the West, it's kind of stagnant. You got your teams at the bottom and your teams in the middle, your teams in the middle up, your teams in the up, your teams in the up. The East is weird.
Up and away.
Detroit, again, clinched the first seed. That's the only thing that's been clinched. Boston, New York, Cleveland. Those 3 teams are basically fighting for the 2nd through 4th, 5th spot. Atlanta can finish as high as 4th. Now, bear with me. Atlanta, Philadelphia, Toronto, Charlotte, Orlando, Miami. 6 Eastern Conference teams. All 6 could end the season anywhere between 5th and 10th.
Oh, yeah.
The play-ins in the Eastern Conference are far from settled.
They're so open.
And it's these, what is that, 6 teams are within 2 games of each other.
That's crazy.
So the NBA is going to be really interesting this coming week. Now, what might be the topic of the night.
Uh-oh.
This one hurts a little bit
Uh-oh.
to talk about.
Uh-oh.
The relief pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays.
What do you mean this hurts? He got sent down. I'm happy as hell.
Yeah, the sent down part is good. It's too freaking late. These numbers are though. Braden Little, 24.55 ERA.
Yeah. He is the reason before the 14-2 loss, ironically, that 13 of the 17 runs that Blue Jays got pounced on, he is the reason for 13 of them.
5 appearances, 3.2 innings pitched.
Yep.
Hasn't even pitched 4 innings, and he's let that. So in these 3.2 innings, 10 hits, 3 home runs, 3 walks, only 6 strikeouts, 11 runs total, and 10 earned runs.
Yep.
Absolutely diabolical stat line.
Yep.
And atrocious, to say the least.
Yep.
Now, as Mickey said, the good news in the sea of bad.
I hope he stays in the minors.
He has been sent down to AAA.
Little went little.
Little went little. Now, as a fan, I am really ticked off with this performance. As an athlete, though, I do feel for him to an extent. You're in a rough patch. You're not performing. You got people on social media and whatever asking for your head. I can understand slumping. He should have been sent down
beginning
a week
of the
ago.
Year. I would have
At
sent
least.
him down beginning of the year.
Because
I would have sent him down, see how he's doing, give him a couple of, not rehab, but like assignment.
Yeah, assignment.
Pitching, schedule pitching. Give him a game or two in the minors, see how he's feeling, how he's doing, because he also didn't have a good performance at the World Series.
No. This slide has started last postseason.
Yeah. So I would have sent him, if I was the general manager of the Blue Jays, I would have sent him down, see how he's doing, see how his pitches are, his velocity, his control of the strike zone, if he's not giving too many of the easy strikes, easy hits, and then go from there instead of starting the year and being like, well, let's hope it goes, and then giving so many runs.
Yeah. Well, right. It hurts seeing guys like Gossman and Cease perform this well, and your bullpen just is letting games go. So hopefully he goes down there. Hopefully he finds whatever it is he needs. Because the thing is that when he's on, his stuff is nasty, right? He's a left-handed pitcher with a crazy motion sweeper.
Yeah.
Right? Like his go-to pitches, they are nasty. It's just the fact that his command has been terrible.
Not only has his command been terrible, his control over the strike zone has been terrible.
No, he's outside, he's low, or he's middle.
And given a lot of people middle is not the way to go.
No.
You got to catch people swinging. You got to catch people in an uncomfortable spot.
Well, and the issue with how nasty his sweeper is that because of the angle that it's coming at, if it's going middle, if a batter gets a piece of it, they get a piece of it.
She on.
Right? Like it's gone. What was that stat? He had one of the highest whiff rates last year, which is so like when he's getting batters to miss, he's good.
Yeah.
They aren't missing.
They aren't missing, and he's kind of giving them gifts.
They're meatballs. They really, really are. So he's being sent down. Hopefully that solves whatever the hell is going on. For next week, just a bit of insight into how we're going to expand on the international segment. we're going to start covering rugby. Now, there are a number of rugby leagues going on, so we're going to talk a bit more about rugby. We're also going to expand a bit more on our motorsports catalog.
We're gonna go MotoGP and
F1, NASCAR.
So Jay's got a few more wheels to research, but I mean it shouldn't be too hard. I mean one of them is just turning left.
Yep.
And so look forward to that the next episode. I see that Jay isn't looking forward to the research that he's gonna have to do, but I mean, hey, it's why we have to. It's why we're gonna move on to 2 episodes.
And football or soccer.
Ah, yes. We haven't been covering soccer at all, really, or much. So we're going to be diving into that a bit next week.
Basically, we are just trying to make sure that we give you guys the most that we're able to give you.
Yeah. Our 2 episodes are going to be North American focus episodes, so your typical basketball, hockey, baseball, American football, those leagues. We'll keep our hometown sports in there too, so the lacrosse, the Blades. And the second episode will be almost purely international. So our rugby, our soccer, our esports, our motorsports, all that good stuff. Now, unless either of you numbskulls has something real smart to say, I think we're just about done for the night, boys.